Hi, welcome back to Related Sisters. I'm Kimberly.
Misty.
And today we thought we'd talk about dating. However, I'm the only one who dates.
Yeah, I don't really date.
Why don't you date?
I don't date. I mean, I date one person. I don't really date anyone else.
She's not available, really.
I don't date.
Right?
I mean, I go out on dates, but it's with one person.
And I'm on the prowl. I'm definitely
On the prowl.
dating. I
She's
want
a prowler.
a relationship. Just nothing has worked out in the last several years. But I don't.
Are you a cougar?
No.
Are you a...
No.
What's the other one called?
Oh, leopard.
A leopard. Are you a leopard?
Leopard. I don't know.
Maybe that's
No,
why you can't
no,
get dates.
I'm,
You're a leopard.
I'm 52 and I would date people, I would say 47 and up.
Yeah, that's not...
That's not really
Nah,
a cougar.
no.
No, I dated a younger guy once, but I don't want to do that.
No,
I don't
you don't. You don't want to raise them.
No. And plus they might want kids and, I'm done raising mine. I have certain things, like, they can't have young children at home.
Well, I think you have too many stipulations. I was meaning to talk to you about this. You have way too many stipulations, I think.
I don't want to lower my standards.
Not standards.
I want what I want.
Stipulations.
Yeah.
There's a difference in standards and stipulations.
Why do you think I have too many? I don't want to raise somebody's kids.
Because I think
I
you
don't
go
wanna mess with
into
baby
it
mama.
like you can't have kids. You gotta have the right work schedule. You have to.
Be able to travel.
Yeah. There's a lot.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
I'm just saying.
But anyway,
I don't have a lot to add to this.
No.
I'll just listen and put in my 2 cents.
but going on dates and I just think it's a beating. It's a beating.
I wouldn't want to do it.
8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, there's no second date. Either it's me or them. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. It's a weird dynamic. So,
Why though?
I have no idea. Like, I might not want to go out on a second date just because their chemistry was off or they don't look like their pictures. I only had one guy who his pictures were really flattering and he looked like Tweety Bird. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
What do you mean he was yellow?
It's just weird. He just kind of had a Tweety Bird.
What is the Tweety Bird
I don't know.
face? Like the little hair sticking
He had
out?
like a lot of hair, poofy hair, and he didn't have much of a chin. Very narrow, kind of, I don't know, beakish.
But his pictures look like what?
I don't know, they were taken in a very flattering way. He looked okay. But anyway, I just kind of come up with a list of things as far as, what I'm looking for, when I go out on a date. I don't know, I can't speak for all women. So I've got a list here. I'll read my notes. But, guys that are dressed nice, they come and they're wearing ratty t-shirts or jeans or they just look dirty. That doesn't
And smell.
That doesn't
nice,
speak
too.
highly.
Don't stink.
None have ever stunk, thank goodness. Not using your cell phone is important.
I
You're
wouldn't
ready to
really
watch my
care as long as they're just not on it the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not a huge big deal.
Definitely not to be on it. And don't do all the talking. Make sure, you ask the other girl questions and it's a back and forth. Because I have been out on dates with guys where I just feel like they've monopolized it. Like they don't even care. I don't know what they're after, but they don't want to get to know me.
Then
You know what I mean?
they're not after getting to know
Exactly.
you. Past that one day.
Exactly. So not talking about your ex. You don't want to sit there and brag on your ex or, talk about all that stuff. So if the girl brings it up, ask questions, just give her short answers. Don't go into some long drawn out story.
So why would you bring it up? I
It's
would
really
never
a turn
bring up
off.
someone's ex.
Well, sometimes if I don't know how long somebody's been divorced or something, I'll ask because it's important to me that you be divorced at least a year. So I don't want to go out on a
Stipulation 1.
and usually
I'm gonna count all the stipulations.
that's an important one. That's an important one because sometimes people just aren't right yet. Usually I'll try to screen them beforehand to make sure that they've been divorced at least a year before I even go out with them. But I don't know, maybe some people ask, Offer to pay. Now I usually say the first date is a meetup and let's split it. But if a guy insists, and if I feel like I might see them again, I'll go ahead and let them pay. But if I really just think that I'm not going to see them again, I always feel guilty. And so I kind of keep insisting. Let me pay.
I'm kind of old-fashioned. I don't think that about
Really?
No, I think you should be a gentleman. Open doors, pay for the meal. I mean, that's my
Yeah. Well, I definitely have on here open doors. You know, some girls like to have their chair pulled out. I just think that's awkward.
Oh, you do?
Too chivalrous.
Oh, you do? Oh,
know?
I like the chivalry.
I don't know. Just pulling the chair out thing's a little weird. But I like my car door open. You know, the door before you go into an establishment. Also, if you want to see a girl again, don't wait. There's some kind of ridiculous 3-day rule about contacting.
We don't like game players.
No, and that's
No.
just playing a game. And so if you're interested, contact her. Just don't over text. You don't want to.
We're grown women. We don't play games. We don't want to play games.
Right.
We don't want men to play games.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't cuss.
It's not attractive.
No. So just keep your language clean.
Not say dude.
Don't say dude or man.
No.
Hey man.
So
Hey
annoying. I
man.
hate that.
You like your coffee, man?
And it makes you sound like so not intelligent. It really dumbs you
Right.
down. Really bad. I hate that
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, I do
It's
too.
a pet peeve.
I do too. And don't push too hard for a first date. Like if you meet somebody online, like I'm not going to give somebody my phone number right away, and I'm most definitely not going to meet them right away. It's a progression. I don't want to pen pal. I know they don't want to pen pal. I'm on there to find somebody and to date, but I don't want to be pushed about meeting somebody that I haven't had a chance to even get to know a little bit. Just as a woman, we have to be more careful.
Yeah.
And I think making a recommendation for the first date, I like to have coffee first. I like to have maybe coffee at a Starbucks where there's restaurants around, and that way if it is going good, I can kind of say, are you hungry? Do you have time to grab a bite to eat? Let's continue this conversation. But you can just have your coffee and then say, oh, look, I've only had an hour and then I have to run if it's not working out. But I think, especially for a second date, the guy should make the recommendations. Some of my really fun first dates have been out of the way restaurants I didn't know about that he just kind of found on Yelp or, researched, TripAdvisor, Yelp, I don't know. And that's really cool because somebody's putting forth some effort. It's not just like, hey, let's go to Chili's.
No.
Yeah, right?
No Chili's.
No. There's some really fun first dates I've been on was one guy and I went to escape room. And that was kind of cool. A little stressful for a first date, but you get to see somebody under, different circumstances. And then one guy this last Christmas, I don't have Christmas plans on Christmas Eve because I do have other days that I do stuff with family, but we went for coffee and then went to a candlelight service up at my church. So that was kind of cool for a first date. Keep it fun, keep it light. Don't start asking, when can I see you again? When can I see you again? And putting a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But also don't sit there and say,
But if you want to see her again, make it known.
right.
Don't wait the damn 3 days or whatever.
Right, but I just, I think if you ask, would you like to see each other again?
Yeah.
And then if the girl says yes, actually follow up and do it. Don't just start the whole ghosting thing or just say it to say it. Don't say that you're gonna call if you're not gonna call.
Yeah, why do you do that?
Yeah.
Why?
I think you
That is a good question. Why?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe
We want
because
answers.
they don't know what else to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just think you should say you had a great time.
I had a great
and-
time. I'm not calling you back. I had a great time, but this is the last time you're going to hear from me.
And I have had guys, say, are we gonna, go out again or something? And I'll just say, yes, I'd love to, or no, I just don't think we're a good match. Because I just believe in honesty,
Does anyone get mad at you when you say, no, we're not a match? I say,
No.
why? What's wrong with me?
No, I did have one guy. I had one guy kind of question me, why? And I said, well, I had on my profile that I wanted to, here's another stipulation, date a man who's a Christian. And he said he was. And then when I found out he went to this church that's very open-minded and kind of dabbles in other things, I don't know, like Hinduism or Buddhism.
We're not saying anything is wrong.
No, we're not. It's just that he was labeling himself as a Christian and not the same kind of Christian I am. And so when the date was ended, we'd actually only been talking on this online dating profile. He didn't have my number yet. So when we met, he wanted my number. And I just said no, that I didn't think we were a good match. He wanted to know why. And I said, well, I just believe that Jesus is the way. And, you don't really believe that. And I want somebody who believes that. And he said, well, maybe when I come back after I'm reincarnated in another life, I'll believe in Jesus. And I'm just like, no, you're not getting my number.
Not in this life or another life.
No.
You're not getting
No.
a number.
No. So he's been the only one who's really. Most guys don't ask, and I don't have to say. You know, they just kind of say, you know, oh, you know, we had a great time. I'll call you, or you know, because maybe they already have
I'm
my
so
number.
glad I'm dating. This really makes me so happy. I'm not kidding.
But yeah, I just think
This is a beating.
guys should say, you know, I had a great time. You know, maybe either don't push it and then text her later if you want to go out, or say, you know, would you like to see each other again? For me, don't try to kiss me on the first date because I have a policy about kissing on the first date. I just don't. And I had one guy ask me one time, well, why not? And I was like, well, I go out on a lot of first dates. I don't want to be kissing all those guys. So 8 out of 9 times, there's not a second date. So why would I kiss 10 guys when I know I'm not going to see them again? But I think if the girl initiates, or you know,
But don't be that girl that initiates.
no, but there's a lot of girls who go home with a guy
Don't.
on a first date.
Don't do that, girls.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
makes it hard for the rest of us.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but some girls, I guess that's just what they want.
Why? Why do you want that?
I don't know.
That's a whole nother video.
Right. And maybe that's why I don't get a lot of second dates, is
Yeah.
because I don't kiss. I'm gonna be a little work. You know, I don't know.
I think it'll be a lot of work.
I am not.
Just saying.
I'm not really high maintenance. I gotta hear there.
Okay.
Let's see. I think you said don't over text.
No, do not over text. I hate that.
Yeah.
If you text her and she doesn't text back, give her time. I'm really bad, so I don't answer texts for a long time. I'm really bad about it, especially when I'm at work. It could be hours and hours and hours before I get a chance to text back. So don't keep texting.
I would think that's
That's
more of a
annoying.
girl thing. I've never had guys really do that.
Don't do that.
I've never had guys do that. Thank goodness. But if the guy did start doing that, I'd be like, whoa,
Yeah.
something's up here. And this is an important one. I didn't know this was so important. I should have known, because I have set up some dates in advance before, and I have sent a text, and, you know, I didn't hear from him, and it's like the date's coming up, either the next day or that day, and I'll send him a text saying, you know, hey, you know, see you tonight, you know, at Starbucks at 6 o'clock or whatever. And they'll text back and say, oh, sorry, I'm out of town on a business trip, or oh, I started dating somebody and it's getting kind of serious, or whatever their excuse is. And they cancel on me. There was this one guy, it was like our 3rd date, so I didn't think I needed to do that. It was like a Wednesday. He says, let's meet at the steakhouse on Friday night, really nice restaurant. I show up. We didn't confirm that day. He doesn't show up. So I wait 30 minutes and I'm texting, you know, like, hey, where are you? Is everything okay? And so he finally calls me back and he says, well, you didn't confirm, so I didn't think that we were gonna have a date. And he made it like my fault. I was thinking, well, if you had a question as to if we were meeting or not, why didn't you confirm with me? You know, we said we were gonna have a date, I'm here. But lesson learned, not to just show up without confirming.
That is so ridiculous.
Isn't that weird? But on a positive note, I was walking out of the restaurant that night and there was this beautiful woman, this really tall couple, and I'm walking to my car and she says, hey girl. And I look over there and she says, you are hot. And I was like, well, thank you, because I just got stood up and I needed to hear that. And she says, well, this is my friend and it's his birthday and he's getting ready to move out of town, so do you want to come in and have a drink with us? And I was like, well, I don't drink.
They were swingers.
No, I don't think
That's what they were trying
I don't
to
think so.
do. You just didn't catch
But I'm
it.
pretty gullible, so I don't know, but I don't think so. But
They were looking for a party.
yeah,
Third party.
I don't know. So I went in, I had some water with them and
Rest
some
is
appetizers.
history.
No.
We won't talk about it.
But I always like to ask my dates too about their crazy online dating stories, because most guys have some crazy stories. I think they've all dated the same woman who looks maybe 20 years younger than her picture and 50 pounds lighter in weight, because a lot of these guys, they all say, yeah, you know, there was this one girl I met and I didn't even recognize her. Or it looked like the picture was 20 years old or something. And most of the guys are really nice and they go ahead and pay for a meal. And I'm like, well, that's why she keeps doing it. You know, she wants free meals.
She wants a meal. She's hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry.
Yeah. But I've had some stories of where, like, guys get propositioned. Like, there was this one guy. He was supposed to go out with a 45-year-old woman. She was 65. And he was upset about it, but they still had a meal. And she says, I'll pay for it. I know I misled you. And so when they're leaving the restaurant, she starts begging him. She says, it's been a long time since I've been with a man. Could you please come home? I'll pay you.
Oh.
Isn't that weird? That was bad. And one guy told me about this third date he was on. He went over to her house and she was cooking a meal for him. And she says, I need you to sit down. I need to talk to you. And he's like, all right, what? And she says, Jesus told me I'm supposed to have your baby. And he's like, what? He goes, well, maybe I should ask Jesus. And she started freaking out saying, no, you can't ask him. He told me. So he got out of there quick.
Big Jesus secret.
Yeah.
It's only between her and Jesus.
I know. And then there was this one guy, he didn't even meet this girl. He says he got really uncomfortable talking to her on the phone because he felt like she was sexualizing her 12-year-old daughter. And so he got really uncomfortable and they hung up, and the next day he sent her a text message, which you should do, saying, I'm not interested, or, we're not a good match or whatever. And she started texting him constantly, in the hundreds. He said it was crazy. Texting. And then, I think he lived up in Nebraska at that time. And he said she sent him a picture and she was shirtless, but she had on some suspenders. And she was outside in the snow. She built a snowman and she put red food coloring or ketchup or something all over it. And she had a knife. And she sent him a picture of her murdering this snowman or whatever. Psycho. Isn't that
I think
weird?
we need to call CPS in Nebraska on that mom.
No.
She sounds crazy.
I know. But anyway, that's what I just like hearing their stories because I think they're kind of crazy. And I don't know, speaking of, because this was important, you don't want to sit there and order drinks. I talk to guys in advance and I say, well, they know, because my profile says, a light drinker or a non-drinker. And what is that, 4 stipulations now, 3 stipulations now, 4, you've lost count.
Yeah.
I think they're important stipulations. But the waitress kept coming up to the table. This was a guy who talked about himself the whole time too. But she kept coming up to the table saying, were we done? Did we need anything else? And he kept ordering drinks. And I literally felt like a hostage sitting there because I just didn't know how to nicely leave him sitting there with a full beer and say, well, I gotta go, because I always do try to offer to pay. And especially with this guy, I would have offered to pay and wanted to pay half because I didn't have any intention of seeing him again. But we could never get the check because he kept ordering drinks. So don't do that. If the waitress comes up, I think the guy should ask the girl, did you want anything else? Did you, want to sit here and talk longer?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But I think also it was really insensitive of the guy who knew I didn't drink and I didn't want to be with a big drinker to sit there and have 3 beers on a first date.
Yeah.
So I was just
Be
like,
polite.
yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Ask.
These are just kind of more my take on dating.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of dating in the last 3 years. Not fun, not one of my favorite things. But
Online dating, right?
I mean, I have
Mostly.
I have met some other people in some instances where, friends of friends or, things like that. People I dated, but for the most part, it's been online dating.
Yeah.
And I have met some really nice guys. I haven't met too many kooks. Just the reincarnation guy, really. All right.
That's good.
So I hope this was informative. I hope it answered some questions. It's probably stuff you kind of already knew.
Yeah. Just
I mean, people
be
know.
yourself. Be yourself. Be polite. Be a gentleman. Don't play games.
Right.
And I think that's a good start.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions, you can leave them below. If you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you don't have young children at home,
And you want her number? We'll link it below.
we really won't. But yes, I am, trying to
On the
find.
prowl.
I am trying to find the one.
She's on the
Right
prowl.
now.
But you have to have all these stipulations.
Maybe you'll see me swiping. If you have any questions, or I don't know if you want to run anything by us, we're not dating experts by any means.
Nope.
But hope this helps.
Yep.
Hope you got some new information.
See you next time.
Bye.